pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Present we have Tim Petrikis and Tim Keeney, Selectmen. Mike Marinacci, our Chief Financial Officer. Kim LaFleur, Operations Director. Walter Topliff, our Assessor. Trooper First Class Mike Evie of the State Police. And Kim Liddick, our Police Administrator. We will be going into executive session about 6:30, pending the availability of our Town Attorney, Carl Landolino. But in the interim period, let's see if we can go through the agenda. All right. The first item on the agenda is the police staffing. Jay Gershowitz retired as our part-time SRO and has been replaced by Shannon Belcher, who went from full-time to part-time, necessitating the need to replace this budgeted position. In addition, we budgeted a full-time position but waited to fill it pending the retirements of a number of state police. We now have two excellent candidates for consideration by the Board of Selectmen, so I've asked Trooper First Class Evie and Kim Liddick to fill us in. They and myself, plus another constable, were part of the interviewing process. So, Kim and Mike, tell us what to do.
Sure. So, I've given you each a packet. Basically, the recommendation letters for Kevin Murray as a part-time police officer, and Christopher Powers as a full-time police officer. Both are budgeted positions. We both have extensive experience with the state police. One just retired October 1st, and the other one is still a current trooper. So we had posted the job and the descriptions, which are in your packet there as well. And out of the applicants that we got, Mike and I went through them and pulled in those two candidates to start the testing process. We did the written exam, and then we did the oral boards, which consisted of us. Bud was part of the oral board, and then for post regulations, we had a certified post police officer on the board as well. Both successfully passed those exams, and to go further, we're at this stage before we can put them through the drug screen, the psychological, the rest of the requirements that Post asks us to do. We're kind of on a deadline date with Post. They have council meetings just a handful of times a year. So although, the part-time officer, Jay Gershowitz, retired back in July, Post doesn't have a council meeting until November 12th. So even if we had a candidate ready, we couldn't have put him through. So that's really where we're at. Their resumes are attached there as well.
So
very extensive.
Both Kim and Trooper First Class Evie, give us your opinion in terms of, both these gentlemen have worked with them.
Yes.
Yes.
In terms of their competency and their...
Both highly skilled officers, both, very well liked, very personable, which is very important to being a resident trooper or town officer, having a good rapport with the community. They both have that and have that personality. You can get people in here that, want to do a little overzealous. That isn't the case, but they are very helpful and know their job very well.
Yeah, one of them, Christopher Powers, was a resident trooper in Towland for many years. And Kevin Murray was also an instructor down at the academy, so he's very well thought of in the state police as well. So
He worked with Craig Jones?
he did, yes.
Okay.
He worked with Craig Jones down at the state police academy for several years before he came back to Troop C recently. Both of them are local to the troop area. They worked patrol for Troop C the majority of their career, so they know Summers, they know the personnel. There would be no additional training if they were to go through with the recommendations. Like I said, there's a drug screen, a psychological, and then they'd be able to go on the road. There's no training because they've already
orientation from our standpoint, from the Summers Town standpoint?
You know, I mean, once they're certified through Coast, it's, you know, because of the accountability bill, there's a lot changed. I spoke with one of the instructors from Post from the academy on Tuesday, and she said in the past 2 months they've changed a lot of things. The trooper that is still currently on the job, actually, it would just be literally a complete lateral transfer because they're giving them ID numbers now. Prior to that, state troopers were not considered certified police officers in Connecticut. They both had their own set of standards. Now they're trying to combine them all to make it easier for everybody. Actually works out very easy for the town to lateral transfer one over. And we put down that, you know, we want at least someone with 10 years experience. Kevin has 30 years. And Chris has almost 24 years. So,
One of the biggest issues we dealt with when we interviewed these two gentlemen was the fit. From a personality standpoint, as Trooper First Class Hevy has indicated, their ability to interact with the population and understand policing techniques on a lower level. I also was concerned about their ability to continue in the police function, given what's been happening, but both expressed a desire to continue their careers. They knew a lot about Summers, they know a lot about our current constables, since they're colleagues in the state police, and I, for one, feel that they're more than qualified.
Sounds to me like a very rigorous process was gone through and very appropriately done, and I commend you on the process. And you want to do them one at a time? Or?
Let's do that one at a time so that we have a record.
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
Could I just ask a question? What's the proposed start date on them? I don't see it here.
So Christopher Powers, he retired as of October 1st. He'd be able to pretty much start immediately.
Once he gets the clearance from this.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, contingent on passing, you know, the drug screen, the psychological. He'd be able to start immediately. So within 30 days.
Okay.
And that would be the full-time evening shift position. Kevin Mully is still a state trooper. If he was successful in getting through the testing process, looking at January 1st for him. The state police recently put in, instead of a 2-week notice to leave in good standing, they put in a 60-day notice because they were having such a lot of retirements. They had
So
15.
both these gentlemen are physically qualified and haven't eaten too many donuts.
Oh no, they're very. They look physically fit.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure they do. We don't need pictures.
They're I have those such pictures if you need them.
So this will bring us up to full staffing now in terms of our needs, especially.
Yeah, we've been able to, cover the town still.
Right.
But this would, additional backup with the officers that are working, or if somebody's on vacation. When we do events like the drug take back event next Saturday, that takes somebody off the road before hours. It's nice to have somebody else, still in the town to respond to calls. So definitely brings us to staffing that week.
So I'd like to make a motion that we hire Chris Powers as a full-time police officer as proposed.
Second.
Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Additional discussion?
Any discussion before the vote?
he just likes to say that.
I like to keep reminding him.
I know you do. It's
Well,
funny.
you're the expert in Robert's rules and orders.
Oh God.
Second recommendation is Kevin Mulry for the part-time position.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire Kevin Mulry as a part-time police officer as proposed at this meeting.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
Done, bud.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
You guys are funny. Good job, guys.
Thank you both.
Yeah,
Appreciate the work that
thanks.
went into that.
Awesome.
I tell you, I think we were very fortunate to find these two gentlemen. They're close proximity to the town.
Very
knowledge of the
thorough.
town.
Yeah, I looked at the addresses. That's nice that they're close by, so that's great.
Thank you, Kim and Mike. Next item is the authorization of
best you know.
scheduled payments.
Thank you all.
Have a good afternoon, evening.
Be
Thanks.
safe, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, be safe.
For the purposes of discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve the authorization of scheduled payments in the amount of bear with me while the thing fires up here. Thank you. $54,669.45.
I will second that motion.
All right, additional discussion.
I had an opportunity to talk to Brian earlier in the day and went over 3 or 4 of the issues I had. One of which was the Newington Gun Exchange for $163.20. The answer was that was for ammunition for police training.
Yep, they have, I do remember that they had
I
something.
wanted to get in on that myself.
Oh.
Okay. And then I also asked about the Shady Lake LLC, $5,995.19, and I understand it was for tax refunds.
Mhm.
So the Shady Lake partnership.
It's a complicated situation.
Yeah.
Walter would have more
Walter.
information on that.
Roger Frangimore, who is Shady Lake LLC, sold some of his development rights to Ronald James. So we adjusted payments from Shady Lake LLC over to Ronald James. So he gets refunded, but we sent out tax bills to Mr. James.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any additional comments, Tim?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Nothing for me, thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign that.
I'll take it. I'll give it to Brian.
We have some time here. Before we go to the regular minutes, I'm glad Mike joined us. Maybe he can give us an update in terms of the bonding. Mike?
Certainly. So, we had our closing today on our bond issue. A couple of weeks ago, we had a bid opening on our sale, and the lowest bidder was 1.53%. And that was the Roosevelt and Cross Incorporated. They're the same company that has our 2014 bond. They also have our 2012 refi. So I guess they like looking at the issuances from our town.
Why would they like our town versus any other town?
I think they think we're solid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They're what?
I think they think we're solid and that we're,
They're going to get their money back.
they're going to get their money back. And there was like 8 bidders on this. The range was from 1.53 to 1.69. They were the lowest bidders. This is for the all-in total interest cost, along with a $918,702 premium.
Yeah.
Substantial premium, which we're going to use to offset interest costs and bond issuance costs.
I have never seen interest rates this low.
What did we budget on that, Mike? I forget. It was a lot more.
Almost 4
I
initially.
thought it was almost 4, but we knocked it down.
Yeah, our initial projections were in the range of 4.
Yep.
People were saying, and certain people were saying, that we weren't going to be able to do this without raising taxes. I would say that it's not really an issue at all at 1.53. We're going to actually see somewhat of a dip, and especially with that premium, we're going to use that premium. Our first payment is an interest payment, and it's in 2021, October. It's a year from now. And that'll go into our debt service. And then our first...
So the premium goes in debt service, is what you're saying?
No, our premium is our premium, and we can amortize that and use that. As long as I've already told bond counsel how I plan to use that, and your options are either or both, to use it to offset the issuance costs, which are all the legal fees and everything, and then also for interest and principal on bond payment. So And then our first principal payment is not until October 15th in 2022, a year later. So, I mean, the impact on debt service is somewhat minimal over the next couple of years, which is kind of good because we have older debt rolling off the books. So it all kind of evens out, and it was planned that way. And so there will really be no impact at all on tax increase or anything.
And what kind of issuance costs do you have?
Issuance costs usually
Legal,
to the U.S. bank,
underwriter.
to the lawyers, to our financial advisors. They range anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000 for an issuance this size, around $10 million.
So our overall debt payments will go down, right?
They will go down. They will gradually go down.
Right.
But creating along the way, when other debt rolls off, some headroom if we decide that there may be other eligible projects. We haven't done that analysis yet, so we're not.
So this is just a selection of the.
Today we had the
outfit that
closing
we deal with.
on that, so
Is
the
there-
money is in the bank.
How much is it? Did you say I missed it?
The
You got the
total
1.53.
proceeds were $10,375,000. I mean, I could email you this document, the closing. $6 million plus interest is the payment of the short-term bonds that we had before, the bands. So new money, which would be the remaining bond plus principal, is what we got wired to us today was $4,204,369, and that is in our bank account as of this morning.
Okay.
And that will go into our capital fund account at STIF, which is the State Short-Term Investment Fund. And we use that money to pay for projects that are completed in this issuance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to publicly.
That's good news.
I want to publicly compliment both Mike and Brian in our bond council. I mean, this was a very tedious, time-consuming process, but we turned out very well for us. In fact, I think everybody was ecstatic with that 1.516
Oh, yeah.
interest
Yeah.
rate.
There's, I mean, comparatively speaking, there were area towns, I don't know if I brought that with me, the month before us, Tallinn, Suffield, and I can't remember the third town. And they were all rated kind of the same as we were, either AA plus or AAA. And so if you put us in there, out of the four towns, we had the second best rate.
Cool.
I forget who had the lowest. They had the AAA rate. I think it was Tallinn, and it was a $6 million issuance.
So, along with this whole process, we were upgraded by our rating agencies to a AA plus,
Right.
which is one removed from the best. And as Mike's indicated, our rate actually tracks some of the pass rates for AAA. So, I mean, we're very pleased. You guys did a great job.
Congratulations.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Next item, let's put the opportunity agenda items after we go through the executive session, unless we have time. But the minutes for approval.
A couple of items I have.
Always find something.
Yeah. This one's really.
Cut you right
I've got a
out.
couple. I got one that's major, but this one's minor.
Oh, okay.
At the bottom where it says Mr. Patrick has made a motion to accept both resignations, it's with regret, not with regrets. You don't need the plural.
Oh, did I do that? Oh.
You put plural.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just-
Oh, dear, right.
Okay. And the next, top of the next page.
Yeah.
I had a little trouble making sense out of this.
Well, I was going to number them because there was
Yeah.
3 things, and I could do that.
Well, it didn't make any sense the way you guys are. I mean, no one can read that and understand what happened.
Well, we can watch it.
Yeah. But I mean, the minutes should speak for themselves,
Yeah.
you know. You
Yeah.
don't say, hey, watch the frickin' video. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh. It's not verbatim, though,
Because I can't
either.
figure it out. you
Minutes
know.
shouldn't be verbatim either.
As I recall, Selectman Patrikas was we were talking about some authority that Bud needed in order to move
Right.
ahead with the mill site. It was limited, and had some brackets around it, and the question was, okay, what was it? How do you describe that? And I tried to look back at my notes from
Yeah.
that meeting, and I couldn't find anything.
Well, what do you want it to say? Why don't you just tell me? How about that? So I can get it right.
Well, it goes back to what we needed.
Yeah, what we
I
What
guess-
Bud needs to
Right.
to have the authority to do some preliminary things.
Right, and I put that to negotiate on the town's behalf with input that was in the last minutes. But then you asked me to put, that was just the title, I guess, to explain the motion. Do you understand? So that's what that is. So, because I was trying to figure out kind of what you said in the meeting, and I'm like, and I listened to the tape, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's just missing a title, so they know what the heck we're talking about. Because then I was just totally confused and just started typing. But so this item right here, so opportunity to add agenda items, add negotiations with SCG for the Somersville mill site, and that would be the title, and then the next item would be the motion that you guys gave Bud the authority to negotiate on behalf of the town with input from the both of you.
Prior to that.
Correct? Is that not, did I misunderstand? Or, I don't know.
I don't want to speak for Tim Patricus, but I think the objective here was to start the negotiation process.
Yeah, and we got that
before
motion
any
down.
agreements are signed, get to that point where the board of selectmen then will approve.
Right, to start the initial
There's
the
a lot of
negotiations.
legal-
I mean, I think I did it verbatim, what you guys said in the meeting, so I'm just confused what you want. But I'll do what we need to do to make it happen.
Under the amendment for the proposed zoning regs.
So, yeah,
That's the new zone we're talking about. Is that what you're talking about?
this was,
Under the amendment for the proposed zoning regs.
Yeah.
The concept is to create a series
Yeah, that was.
you told me to
correct.
change the word.
education and roundtable discussions.
approved
to
instead of
develop and
improved.
update.
That's what you said to me.
Again, it
Because
just-
I went back and I listened to it verbatim, so I can number it out and fix that, so it's correct, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I get it.
You want to table these to the next meeting then, Tim? So we can
Yeah,
see
that's probably a
revised
good
copy
idea.
of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
we're
that
good
it-
to do.
I think everyone will agree it doesn't make any sense the way it's.
Well, no, yeah, I
It's just-
should have numbered it, but I just made it one motion, because,
Okay, well,
all
we'll
right,
write it.
I can do that, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
But I just want to know, make sure I'm doing it right. That I'm, putting down what you want versus
I guess we'll have to tell
me
you
just
when you-
winging
when you
it
try it again. Yeah.
and listening to the.
Well, I guess-
Can we
Yeah,
better
I mean-
describe then what we need here? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Tim, that it should indicate that we've authorized Bud to negotiate with SGG.
Correct. That was in the first minutes of those amendments, and it was just missing a title. That's all that was said, that they understood what the motion meant and what it was for, and I did that. So that would have been the title. I'll fix it so you can read, so it'll make sense.
so as you say, so to initiate the negotiation
Yes,
process
with Somersville
with
Mill,
SCG.
because we were missing that
Right.
in the motion. That's because okay, we're just negotiating SEG, but now
Right.
who's
For the
for what?
Somersville Mill
Right.
site, right.
So do
Right.
we have an amended version of the September 17 minutes? I guess that's my question. What's the
No,
six-
because you don't amend them. You put them in. You note them in the minutes that when they're approved.
Got it.
You don't go back and amend minutes. You make the motion here to amend them. That's how it works.
So, well, will we type this? Send it out?
Yeah, I'll
Approve it the next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can change that, and that'll be your motion to amend that whole,
Okay.
show there. So it
I
makes
mean, I
sense.
agree, it's not easy to figure this out. I mean,
No, but
question-
if you
question
just,
about
I get it.
yeah.
I know what I'm trying to say, so. So if you want to make a motion to, I can fix that, and we can come back to
Yeah.
that on the first.
Okay, do you need a motion, or do you need?
Yep, we need a
Well,
motion to adjust that.
I'm suggesting, since these haven't been approved, can you just fix these and then
Yeah.
we'll approve them at the next meeting?
Oh, okay.
Hold them in abeyance.
Okay, so just,
Yeah.
all right,
Yep, we're tabling them for tonight.
okay.
So on the,
Because these are published minutes now, so this is what,
but the minutes are not official
Approved.
until approved.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So, okay.
What I'm suggesting is we should table them, and then I
Okay.
think our next meeting is
I
November
just-
1,
Okay.
right? That's the next meeting?
But I'm not redoing them, correct?
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're amending them.
Okay,
And we'll approve
because
it.
that's not how it works.
Is it November 1?
Well, in November, so I forget when
I
next.
don't think it's the 1, because
I
the
don't think it's
elections
one
are the
either.
3rd, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the show, the 5th.
November 5th, yeah.
Yeah.
So on November 5th, we would have an agenda
Revised.
item to approve the meeting,
I'll
approve
just
the
put-
minutes of October 1 and approve the meetings of October 18. So there'd be two.
As amended.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
We need to call Carl and then go into executive session.
I did want to mention, are we going to, you're going to put aside, you said the.
Go to agenda items. Carl's available now. Let's
Okay,
call him.
hold on a second, I gotta,
Oh, and one other thing I want to mention here was,
yeah,
maybe I missed this, but the meeting minutes say that Mr. Norr will reach out to the board and commission members, informing them about
I
the
did.
initiative,
I sent
Yeah.
over to all.
and will forward the draft to the selectmen before sending it out. Did you send it to us beforehand?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, I just didn't see it. All right.
yeah, I sent it
Okay.
on October the 6th.
oops, sorry.
Do you want me to read it to you for the record?
No, we don't need it. I mean,
Pardon me?
it's been emailed, it doesn't need to do that.
Okay. October 6th. yeah.
Oops. So you're definitely going into executive.
Well, we need a
Well,
motion.
he's got
Hello?
to make a motion.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Carl, it's Bud, Tim, and Tim, so we need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion that we
Okay.
go into executive session to consider the Connecticut Solar Leasing LLC litigation.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Could you, ladies and gentlemen, excuse us?
Yeah, stand by, let me just stop
Walter
the
should be-
recording.
Mike, want to be heard too, or